Okay, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
As introduced by Theodoric earlier, I'm doing an advanced leadership bronze presentation. It's not a speech, but it's also not behind the agenda where there is specific projects allocated. This is where I have accomplished my competent leadership manual, and if I were to progress further in my leadership track, I have to start delivering presentations, and tonight will be one of them. And I chose a presentation tonight from the Successful Club series titled Keeping the Commitment. So as Theodoric said, what commitment? Ever since we are born, we already start to have commitment. When we come to school, we want to study. When we're in a relationship, we have to commit for the girl or the guy. And for Toastmaster, we have a thing called the Toastmaster Promise. Who here have never heard of a Toastmaster Promise before? Malik, Rafi, Iskandar, raise up your hand and put down your hand, and Faiz. Okay, a Toastmaster Promise looks something like this. And at any club, when you register for membership, if you were to read the membership forms properly, there is a Toastmaster Promise behind. And there are 10 of them, and I can see people smiling at me right now. So that shows that they just signed the name and pass out membership forms. But luckily tonight I printed the Toastmaster Promise and I put them on every chair. So if you're not familiar, you can read them. And I'll still go through one by one tonight. Membership forms, all these details can be found in membership form, and it's very important. At the moment when we signed and decided to join as a member, we have already promised to commit to a Toastmaster's Promise. Why do we commit? What's so important about a Toastmaster Promise? Why not I just come here, do speech, and go home? That's the most basic thing that everyone knows. But why do we commit? Every member, when they first join a Toastmaster club, they're very energetic, they're so enthusiastic, and we want to keep that fire throughout the whole Toastmaster journey. And if we were to promise ourselves to do all the 10 principles that are listed in the Toastmaster Promise, we'll make sure that we will keep doing something to make sure we grow. It doesn't mean that every week when we do a speech, we grow. There's so many other things that we can do inside a Toastmasters club to help us grow. And all this has to start by committing. A Toastmaster Promise can be divided into 3 parts, which is this 3. Participate, interact, and maintain maintain the club quality. This is how you can break this down. There are 3 in participate section, and first let's go to participate. First thing about participation is just attend a meeting regularly. It's not a compulsory thing in Brunei where we do that. For example, if you are a member of Brunei Speaker Club, you must attend other clubs compulsory, but just try to attend any meeting, especially the club that you're registered in regularly. The reason why it's so important is because every single member or every single individual in the meeting contribute to the success of a meeting. How does it contribute to the success of a meeting? Is how I will divide into these 3 parts. We would obviously wish to have a great amount of guests like tonight compared to just people filling up the first row. Obviously, that's very obvious, because when we have more people, we tend to have a higher energy. Even when you have people clapping, you rather have the whole room clapping rather than one person sitting down and clap, right? And all these new people coming in, they can give you more you can receive more feedbacks. You may receive more new ideas for your own growth, or also maybe for your club to grow. All these ideas are very important. And let's say you're not able to attend a meeting regularly. Let's say you have not attended for 2 months, and you are suddenly asked to deliver a speech. Obviously, the stress will be in you right now. You feel you'll be a bit rusty. I need to go back to the basics. How do I do this? How do I do that? So if we were to come to a meeting regularly and keep practicing all these mini things, we won't feel as nervous as if we were to do it every week. So attend meeting regularly sounds so simple, but work like magic. Second is prepare your speech projects carefully. Preparing a speech is not a 2-hour before contesting or an overnight thing, so try to avoid that. If you don't want to be someone like this when you was to deliver a speech to the whole crowd, make sure you prepare in advance. Talking, when we were to deliver a speech, obviously we need to talk, right? And in some of our mindsets, we tend to tell ourselves, it's not that hard. I do it a few times. I just come up to the front and talk to an audience. It's not really a hard thing. That's what we all tell ourselves sometimes to comfort ourselves. And what makes it really hard is when you stand in front here and speak to all the audience on specific guidelines. You have objectives. For example, if you're doing project 6, which is the vocal varieties, you need to make sure that you speak at a good rate, you speak at a good volume, make sure not too monotonous. So all these objectives make us feel pressured, and when we have strangers eyeballing us, we'll also feel the nervous wreck. How can we overcome this? Is first, like I said, prepare in advance. You can prepare it a few days earlier, a week earlier, or if you want, a few months earlier, up to you. I've seen people that prepare speeches when they just join Toastmaster. All their speeches are prepared, and all this preparation is important. But what you need to do next is practice. There's no point telling yourself you have practiced with coming up with a list of speech topics, and you also written speech, but you have never practiced them until you stand on stage and present it to them. That's also very nerve-wracking because you know you don't have enough practice. You will feel very nervous because you can't deliver as comfortable as you will. And Toastmaster International manuals have come up with all these manuals, such as the Convenient Communicationship Manual that Derek introduced earlier. We also have advanced manuals, and all these manuals are hard work. Toastmaster International has created all these manuals to help all the individuals to develop specific skills. Well, let's say if you want to be funny, if you want to be more interactive with the audience. There are all these projects that you just have to read the manuals, follow the guidelines, and come up with a good speech idea. Okay? Next is fulfilling all assignments to participate. What does this mean is, obviously one does not come into a meeting and do a speech every week. That would be crazy. One does not do a speech every week. So we start to take up roles. We take up roles. No matter what roles we do, always give it your best. You don't have to be afraid to fail when you come out there. Let's say you're the table topic master and you have all these questions ready and you feel like it's too hard. But for you, you feel like it's comfortable for me. Oh, let me rephrase it. One second. I come up with a set of questions that I feel that it's easy for the audience to understand, but at the same time, I also feel that the crowd may have a hard time answering it. It's like a battle between yourself. But don't be afraid to try, because Toastmaster is an educational platform. It's where we all come here and train ourselves. No one is going to shoot an arrow into your heart if you do anything wrong. Okay, so this is where you come here and practice and improve. Now, you have to be responsible. Like I said, every single member or individual in the meeting contribute to the success. Especially when you're being a role player. A role player is definitely a key player to a meeting. Let's say you're a grammarian, make sure you want to monitor everyone's grammar usage rather than just sitting down and blank out and then, hey, my session is up. So something like that will pull down the quality of a meeting. And next, timer for me is specifically hard. And in UBD, I feel like everyone, when they first come into a meeting, they feel, timer is the easiest role to do. So everyone starts to take up timer when they first become member. And every single member that started the first role as a timer, they all had a hard time. Because for timer, you have to record down your times. You have to control the traffic light, you have to press the buzzer, you got to stopwatch to it. There's just so many things on your hand. So make sure you plan all of this beforehand. Or if you're not really, you don't understand this very much, try to speak to a senior member in this part where there's so many people to offer you guidance. Next is the second principle of Toastmaster programs, which is called interact. The first interact principle is provide helpful and constructive feedback. No one gets evaluated in every Toastmaster meeting. I'm pretty sure everyone has ever had this in one meeting. In UBD, I don't feel like that's a big problem. We all come here to give evaluations, and we are in UBD Toastmasters Club. We are very motivating. But at a point, I feel that we are very motivating to a point that we need to make sure our evaluation do actually have a solid piece of advice or improvement to give to the speaker or to the audience. Don't just keep motivating like say, there's nothing is perfect, so there'll always be all this small room of improvements. Try to give a motivating feedback, but make sure it's also helpful for the speaker. For example, let's say if I tell Jack, he has done very good in terms of voice, his body is also very good, but that's all. He'll be thinking, so what actually can I improve if I want to do my next speech? What can I take back up from this evaluation? So we need to make sure we need to find all this, not mistakes, it's called improvements where we can develop ourselves in the future. And then find the uncommon. Let's say in this room, let's say after I deliver this presentation, all of you may think that there is something wrong with my body language, and all of you think that, but if there was someone, if you were evaluated, try to find something else. Try to not find something common where everyone knows. Because imagine after you finish, I finish this presentation, and everyone tells me, there's something wrong with my body language. Is that all? What else can I improve on? Why? Why factor in UBD? If it's good, why? And if it's bad, why? Give us the reason. The next interact is promote a positive and friendly environment. For members here, we know that how much we support each other in this class. Oh, this is not a class. This is a club, and we don't consider ourselves like member, but we treat others like family. We start to care for each other. UBD Team Toastmaster Club is very positive, and members interact like their brother and sister. And what I felt is when there is a guest coming in, this is where all the members start to become a bit timid. We don't be as positive to the guests or be as warm-hearted to the guests. We need to make sure we interact them more, talk to them more. I know you look at me, Malik, but I treat you like family. And if you want to make sure that we want to promote this positivity, how can we promote if we come on time and leave on time? Why not we just come earlier and promote, or come earlier or stay a bit late after the meeting? Mingle with the people here, introduce to them what Toastmaster is, or share with them your experience. All this will make it very memorable. Don't be afraid of the guests, they won't eat you or anything, so try to talk with them. The next perspective of interact is serve as an officer. What is an officer is where we have all this president, vice president of education, Julius, you are sergeant at arms. We have all this officer. What I encourage is all the members should serve as an officer once. The reason why you should serve as an officer once is because you will feel a totally different experience. Your journey will be a bit more different. If you're a member, you just come in and think, what is my next speech about, or what role am I going to take next? But if you are to promote yourself to an officer, you have to start working with a team to plan short-term and long-term goals for the success of the club for the whole year or for the whole term. That is very challenging, and it's also, but the reward is you learn more. So try to have that experience once. Next is be respectful and conscious to one another. The reason is everyone that steps in here should be treated equally. Let's say if there's a lot of people here, you only talk with the boys, but you don't talk with the girls. Don't be like that. Speak to everyone. Open up yourself. The girls are not going to eat you again, like I said. The girls are not going to ignore you or friend-zone you again, that's it. Be respectful. Everyone should be treated with encouragement and with all this positivity, because like I said, Toastmasters is a positive club. We are professional, but we also want to be motivating and positive to everyone. And then try to make sure that no one gets left out in every meeting. Don't let anyone left out. Make sure everyone here have a smile after they leave the meeting hall. We do not want anyone crying after they leave the meeting hall. Okay? Support each other, treat them with positive, and laugh together. The last perspective is maintain club quality. How can we maintain the club quality? First is what we call experience the positivity. Bring the guests. Bring the guests. This is what UBD Toastmaster members what I feel we need to do this a bit more. I understand that it's exam season now, it's very hard to bring your friends. But what about after exam season or before your exam seasons? There is so much other time to bring a friend. The reason why you bring your friend is, again, when you bring a friend, we have so much people here, we have high attendance, and then we have all these new ideas, all this new creativity to help an individual or a club grow. Because different people have different perspectives about something. So try to bring guests along and let them see what do we actually do in a Toastmaster club. But of course, you don't just go out the hall and drag someone in. You speak with them politely, try to talk to them what actually is Toastmaster. We're not here to toast bread or anything. Make sure you explain properly what actually is Toastmasters, okay? Make them feel like we are something, we are a club that is worth coming for. Make sure the night is well spent here tonight. And then, most important is when you bring a guest, you have the responsibility to make sure they leave this room happy. Again, I do not want anyone crying after they leave this hall. Next is follow the guideline and rules. There is club guideline, there's Toastmaster guidelines, which is, let's say, the 3 taboo topics that talk about sex, religion, and politics, and we should obey them. We always should obey all the rules that are being set. The reason is because when we try to off track from all this instruction, it feels like we just ignore everything and we just want to do things our own way, and we come here to improve ourselves. So let's follow that instruction that's given to us. How are we supposed to do it? There is guidelines given to us, let's obey it. For prepared speakers, we have speech manuals. For role players, we have role player guidelines on our blog. And we also have all this competent leadership manual where you have all the roles, objectives that you need to fulfill. Read them before you do your role. Prepare in advance. That's the key element. Next is observing ethical standards. One of the ethical standards here is your casual attire, I guess. Your attire. Coming here with shorts and slippers wouldn't be too professional if you come. Try to come in smart casual or smart, not use standard, don't really. And again, obey the rules that are being set at the club. Don't be. It's okay that sometimes we get sidetracked off because sometimes we don't notice it ourselves. But try to make sure that you can obey this set of rules. Don't purposely get off track and try something new that is not beneficial to the offer. I know we're here to try, but make sure there is a boundary if you want to try. Okay? Coming in advance, again, like I said, always prepare in advance. No matter what you do your role, do your speech, always prepare in advance so that you know what is expected from you. And that's, if I were to recap everything, the main key point is always try to commit, give it your best, whatever you're doing, role players, speakers, and also coming in advance or come early and prepare in advance. And that's all from me. Back to you, David.